So what you're about to watch is being posted on two different channels, Mr. Hollywood Archives and Mr. Hollywood Archives 2.0. I'm sure a lot of people here are very confused as to what these channels are about. You're also probably wondering who the people are in these videos and what they're talking about. So this documentary is going to be covering all of that. I'll be covering the entire history of both these channels and start from the beginning on a story that I'm sure most of you have never heard about.
Cause I'm about to whoop some fucking rats! Freaking bad! I've done something on YouTube that I'm not really proud of.
So just to be clear, the person narrating this video right now is the Solo Trooper. I'm a YouTuber who used to make videos talking about movies, most notably during 2015 to 2017. I uploaded some stuff after that time, and even some stuff just as recent as a year or two ago, but the activity on my channel has been very minimal since 2017, I'd say. So you might be thinking how I play a part in this, and well, I actually did play a part in the channel that you're watching this video on right now. So I'm going to try my best to explain the entire drama. Keep in mind that some stuff will be left out of the video, not only because a lot of stuff has been deleted since then, but there's also some people from that past drama community that don't want the old drama brought up in the current day, so I included as much as I could with what I was given. Also, keep in mind, I have an entire playlist that has most of the videos during this drama in chronological order. There's even some unlisted ones in there as well, so please check out that playlist. I highly encourage it. It is a goldmine of content, so if you want to check it out, that playlist can be found in the description. This documentary will give you a lot of context to that entire playlist, and I might keep adding more videos to that playlist over time as well because there's still a lot of archived footage that has not yet been uploaded on there. So I started the Solo Trooper channel in 2015. I was just your average run-of-the-mill kid innocently talking about movies on YouTube. And you know, things were pretty normal for my first year on the channel. I talked about movies, most specifically Star Wars and Indiana Jones, and you know, I had a few fans, but you know, that was pretty much it. In October 2015, I met a person who would forever become a friend of mine named Dawson. He was a fellow kid who talked about movies like me. We were both around the same age and both talked about the same content like Star Wars and Indiana Jones. So we naturally found each other and connected immediately. His channel name at the time was D&Z Films and eventually became Mr. DVB. During early 2016, Mr. DVB ended up meeting another fellow channel very similar to ours named Jay the Movie Maker 2468, who we called Jay for short. He was also around the same age and talked about the same stuff as us, such as Star Wars and Indiana Jones, and I already knew about Jay the Movie Maker before he and Mr. DVB met, but of course I had never talked to Jay personally. Mr. DVB and Jay talked quite a bit and even started collabing with one another. And during this time, Mr. DVB and I started talking a lot through Skype, so naturally, I met Jay the Movie Maker through Skype, and that's sort of the origin story of how we all met each other. We sort of formed a YouTube trio, and all three of us made videos together during the summer of 2016. Now, during the same time of us all meeting each other, Jay the Movie Maker had also found friends with the infamous YouTuber named The Amazing Mr. Hollywood Show, who was also known as Tyran. He was a family-friendly movie reviewer who most notably talked about Disney, DreamWorks, and Pixar movies, and called his fans Holly Stars. Hollywood would also constantly comment and shout out your videos, so he was seen by many people as a way to grow your channel. Because of Jay meeting Hollywood, Mr. DVB of course ended up meeting him as well, and soon enough all three of them started talking on Skype together. I started noticing Hollywood's presence in the summer 2016 by seeing him constantly commenting on both Dawson and Jay's videos. And when I saw this, I knew deep down inside that Hollywood and I were going to cross paths someday as well. Sometime in the summer of 2016, Dawson, along with his friend and myself, were in a Skype group call doing our typical thing where we just talk about movies and stuff. And then Dawson told us that he was inviting his friend, Mr. Hollywood, and so we met as I predicted. So that's pretty much how we all met Mr. Hollywood. Now, Hollywood had an ordeal with another YouTuber during this time who played a super big part in the drama. And that was a YouTuber named The Dragon Critic. The Dragon Critic was a YouTuber who was pretty much the kid version of Mr. Hollywood. He uploaded videos about, you know, Disney, DreamWorks, and Pixar, and he would constantly comment on other people's videos as well. However, unlike Mr. Hollywood, Dragon Critic had a much worse reputation in the community, as people, you know, found him unbearably annoying, how he would constantly ask for them to subscribe to him and to check out his channel and all that. He also had a very toxic fan base who attacked pretty much anyone that didn't like him. So Dragon Critic and Hollywood had been friends since early 2016. However, around the time that I met Mr. Hollywood, Hollywood ended up making a video called Heated Rant on the Dragon Critic, where he was on a furious rant about how he was fed up with the Dragon Critic's extreme personality, and how Dragon Critic, quote-unquote, begged people to check out his channel.
Because he begged, he freaking begged people to subscribe to his channel.
This saying by Hollywood ended up becoming a classic meme in the community. So of course, this drama is how I knew about the Dragon Critic, but that rant by Hollywood was a one and done deal, and they parted ways for the time being after the rant, but it didn't turn into any huge drama at the time. My personal thoughts on Hollywood at the time were sort of mixed. Hollywood was nice to me, of course, but I personally found him quite annoying. Even before I met him, I honestly always found his family-friendly man-child personality and constant commenting on other people's videos to be really obnoxious. But I still played ball and, still talked to him in a nice manner because he seemed like a pretty innocent guy. During this time, he did 2 reaction videos, one on Jay the Movie Maker and one on Mr. DVB, for his series called The Amazing YouTube Reactions. When I saw those reaction videos, I was afraid that he was going to make one on me soon. It's hard to explain, but I just did not want him to react to me whatsoever. I didn't want his cringy persona or anything even getting remotely close to my channel. However, the inevitable happened, and he ended up doing a reaction video on my channel. And just to let you know, his reaction videos on Jay the Movie Maker and myself are still up on another playlist in the description called Mr. Hollywood's Old Videos. This is another huge playlist that you guys need to check out. This is basically just, the non-drama related content from Mr. Hollywood's old channels. And, pretty much all the videos on here are unlisted, so it makes the playlist that much more sacred, so please check it out if you get the chance. Anyways, his original reaction on Mr. DVB doesn't exist anymore, but he did end up reacting to him again in the future on one of his later accounts. But as far as Mr. Hollywood's reaction video on myself, that annoyed the hell out of me because he never asked permission if he could react to my channel or my videos at all. But, even with that anger that I had inside, I still played ball with him and, went along with it. As all of us continued talking on Skype a lot during this time, Hollywood started asking us for suggestions on what movies he should review on his channel, so we started giving him lists of movies to watch and review. However, he never did what we requested, and then started this weird cycle where he would constantly make a clickbait video saying that he was quitting YouTube while obviously not doing so. This cycle even annoyed DVB and Jay, and we really wanted to call him out for it, but again, we still didn't want to be dicks to him because we still viewed him as an innocent person. But as we did get more used to him as a person, I pitched the risky idea to Mr. DVB of him making a video where he would basically mock Hollywood for his actions and his channel as a whole. He thought it was a funny idea and surprisingly agreed to it. While we did want the video done in fun taste, another part of us was so fed up with Hollywood's personality at this point that we sort of wanted a reason for him to fight back at us so that we could give him shit without feeling bad for it. So we essentially wanted to get a non-innocent reaction of him because we were just so tired of his annoying good guy persona. On August 22nd, 2016, Mr. DVB uploaded a video on Mr. Hollywood called "The Cringiest Man-Child to Ever Exist Lies to His Fans." Of course, Leafy is Here was a very popular YouTuber around this time, so we thought it would be a funny thing to, parody him roasting Mr. Hollywood. Dawson basically played the Leafy character and roasted Mr. Hollywood for being a man-child reviewing children's movies, and just the obvious stuff that you can make fun of Mr. Hollywood for. And while the video did actually call out a lot of Mr. Hollywood's flaws,
he steals content from, a bunch of people without permission. He does these little videos called The Amazing YouTube Reactions.
A lot of the video was also done in a very joking taste. The video itself doesn't exist anymore, but the audio of the video does exist, and you can watch it on Mr. Hollywood Archives 2.0. Mr. Hollywood's reaction to the video really shocked us. We expected him to get a little mad, but still be, pretty innocent about it. However, he completely unloaded on us, swearing at us in Skype messages and going off on how we were spoiled brats and all of that. And while we were shocked, we did love the reaction because it was just so relieving seeing a non-innocent reaction out of him for once, and we knew that we could roast him back without feeling bad about it anymore.
Well, I guess people need to start calling me the new Keemstar, because I'm about to roast some fucking brats!
On August 23rd, the day after the video, Mr. Hollywood clapped back at us by making a video called Two Little YouTube Brats, where he was doing the same thing that we did to him by roasting us. The video was unexpectedly pretty harsh against us.
Get your fucking facts straight, man!
But some of the video seemed like it was, also kind of in a joking taste as well. However, it was really overshadowed by Hollywood leaking my name in the video. During this time, I had never revealed my name at all, and I never wanted to reveal my name, so when Hollywood leaked my name, I remember being absolutely furious about it. Of course, nowadays, I could care less. I've never really talked about it, but for those wondering, my name is
Chris.
So, yeah, that's that. But because of Tyran leaking my name in that video, this drama wasn't in good taste anymore. It wasn't, just fun, joking drama. This is when it started to turn into, real drama. So this drama continued in a Skype group chat with a few other people for a while. However, Tyran made a really big mistake that he would forever regret. I'm not going to go into too much detail because, there's a lot of other people that, want it to be left in the past, but, whatever. I'm still going to talk about it. So YouTube wouldn't actually be okay with me showing some of this stuff that, happened in this group chat. But to make things simple, Tyran sent graphic photos of his body parts to people in a Skype group chat that we had, including myself. And to make matters worse, he also asked for a mooning contest. So there's still plenty of videos about this situation out there, and if you ever want to hear about the situation in full detail, feel free to DM me. So of course, Tyran's big mistake sort of lit the fuse for this big drama community that would erupt from it. On the same day as Hollywood's rant on us, as well as the photos being sent, I made a response video calling him out on his rant video, his insufferable personality, and of course the fact that he leaked my name. Mr. DVB also uploaded another video on Hollywood, basically roasting his rant and also calling out the graphic photos that he sent. That specific video that Dawson made unfortunately doesn't exist anymore. Both our rant videos on Hollywood were fatal, as Hollywood got a massive amount of hate as a result of it, and his entire fan base pretty much turned against him. During that whole controversy, I met a friend who I talked to a lot today. His channel name at the time was Venomous Poison, and he is now known as Papa Jeets. So Venomous Poison was a viewer of Mr. Hollywood, and obviously found out about the controversy through Mr. Hollywood, so he wanted to make a video about the situation and, try to get to the bottom of the mistake that Hollywood made. So we exchanged Skypes with him, he got the info he wanted, and he eventually made a video exposing Mr. Hollywood. It didn't end there though, we still continued to talk to him a lot, and he even played a key role in another piece of the drama that I'll get to later. After the onslaught of hate, Mr. Hollywood ended up making an apology video for the rant and for letting down his fanbase. He even apologized for the Dragon Critic video.
And I was very wrong about doing that rant video on the Dragon Critic as well. I'm also gonna delete that video.
However, the damage was done, and no one was forgiving him for his actions. Mr. DVB, Jay the Moonmaker, and myself even combined forces to make a third rant video on Hollywood, doing another Leafy is Here parody. That video unfortunately doesn't exist anymore. So by that point, we were pretty much beating the dead horse, but it was still funny to keep roasting him. But Hollywood's reputation was so battered up by this point that he made another video asking if he should quit YouTube or not. We thought it was another typical clickbait video that he always did, but surprisingly, on August 28th, 2016, the Amazing Mr. Hollywood Show channel was deleted. On August 29th, 2016, I made one of the channels that you're probably watching this video on right now, originally called the Amazing Mr. Hollywood Show Archives, and is now called Mr. Hollywood Archives. So this account became a super long story in itself, which I'll go through more as the video goes on. So for the first few months of this account's existence, it was just me pretending to be some random fan of Hollywood that wanted to archive his videos. And since people, with the exception of my friends, didn't know that this was me behind the account, I used this account to troll people sometimes. I also let a few of my friends have the password to this account if they ever wanted to troll people as well. So of course, I had a lot of downloaded videos from Mr. Hollywood that I used in my past rant videos, and I knew other people that had downloaded videos of him as well, so I ended up re-uploading as many of Mr. Hollywood's old videos that I could find, and this channel became quite well known in the community. After Hollywood's original channel was deleted, we still talked to him quite frequently. We knew that he did some really messed up stuff, but we were still over the mistakes pretty quickly. Things still weren't perfect though. Tyran was a very difficult person to talk to. He was very stubborn, very bipolar, and very childlike, and he often had a really bad temper. But, it was what it was. We still talked to him quite a bit during this time, and, nothing was really going to change that. During this time, Tyran made various different accounts with different names to hide from his old community because they were still very mad at him. One of his channel names during this time was called the Happy Rainbow King.
Hey guys, the Happy Rainbow King here.
I know it sounds very ridiculous, and that's because we pretty much forced him to do it as a meme. We thought it'd be funny if we'd give him that name, but, he still ended up going through with it. So, it's still funny to look back on that, how he, embraced that channel name. So nothing happened much for September 2016, other than Hollywood uploading a rant video on Jay the Moonmaker, which was deleted only a few minutes after it was uploaded because, they both made up and everything. But overall, we were kind of bored after the drama died down, so we asked Tyran to publicly come back to YouTube under his signature name because we still always found him entertaining to watch, even if we did have problems with him. And surprisingly, we actually did convince him to come back. In late September of 2016, he returned on YouTube under a new channel called The Amazing Mr. Hollywood and uploaded a video titled The Comeback, where he basically said he's back.
My name is The Amazing Mr. Hollywood. I want to show you that this channel can change for the better.
Surprisingly, the community actually didn't hate him as much anymore, and it didn't really matter because he built a new community. So our drama with Hollywood was pretty much buried at this point. We did have a few mini drama instances, most specifically with this one guy named Miguel Navita, who was this fan of Hollywood who hated me and Dawson for some reason. So me and Miguel Navita ended up doing a few rant videos on each other, but, it was ultimately pointless and stupid drama and, not worth going into really. And then eventually Hollywood uploaded 2 rants on Miguel Navita, telling him to drop the drama, and that was pretty much the end of that. It's also worth noting that even Jay the Moonmaker got his 2 cents in on the drama during this time. He made a few videos mocking one of Mr. Hollywood's fans named Awesome Zelda Fan, who Jay gave the nickname Bedhead Kid. But yeah, it was more, pointless drama, and, I think the videos from that were deleted, never to be seen again. So after that, everything seemed relatively normal, up until that kid that I was talking about earlier, the Dragon Critic, of all people, was finally starting to notice Mr. DVB and myself quite a bit. So of course he did his typical thing where he would bombard us with thousands of messages for us to check out his channel and stuff. Similar to Hollywood, we already knew about the Dragon Critic and his reputation of constantly commenting on other people's videos, so we were prepared that he would meet us one day. This is when we started moving a lot of the Skype conversations from Skype to Google Hangouts. We still did use Skype for, personal stuff, but Dragon Critic would constantly stream and talk on Hangouts, so that's when the whole community started to, shift more to Hangouts rather than Skype. When we first started talking to Dragon Critic, we tried putting up with this annoying personality, and we acted nice to him, similar to how we did when we first talked to Mr. Hollywood, but it probably didn't even take a week where we just couldn't take it anymore, so we started slightly trolling him in his live streams.
How are you? Okay, sorry.
The 2 live streams that we trolled him in were on September 24th, 2016 and October 1st, 2016. During the making of this doc, the Dragon Critic actually deleted the live streams, so they don't exist in their entirety anymore. But Dragon Critic actually wasn't too annoyed by the trolling at first, but we kept upping the voltage every day, and eventually he did start getting really angry at us for it. We actually sort of wanted Dragon Critic to get angry at us for it, so we could talk trash back to him without feeling bad for it, very similar to Mr. Hollywood earlier. Of course, we loved Star Wars, while Dragon Critic hated Star Wars, so that made for some great heated debates. During sometime in October 2016, a former friend of the Dragon Critic named Jackson made a rant video on the Dragon Critic perfectly calling him out on everything. It was pretty much like an iDubbbz content cop. The video was just huge at the time. Like, if I remember correctly, it had probably around 1,000 views. And even though a lot of Dragon Critic's fanbase didn't like the video, of course, a lot of his fans actually agreed with it and ended up turning on the Dragon Critic. The whole drama that sparked from that video actually sparked an anti-Dragon Critic community, who was pretty much just a group of anonymous people that would constantly try to expose Dragon Critic and spammed all of his videos with dislikes. I wasn't a part of this community myself, but that community did help defend my community from the attack of the Dragon Critic's toxic fanbase. Jackson made a few more rant videos after the first one. I think one of them actually ended up getting striked by YouTube for bullying, which of course really angered us at the time. But Jackson ended up deleting all those videos, and he talked with me recently and said that he actually regretted the videos on the Dragon Critic and felt that he went too far on him. I also tried looking for those old videos that Jackson made on the Dragon Critic, but I couldn't find anything. So I'm assuming that they're deleted forever, but who knows, maybe, someone out there has them, I don't know. On October 15th, 2016, I made another channel, which you may be watching this doc on as well, which was originally called The Dragon Critic Sucks, then was soon named after The Roast Crew for 5 years, and as of this month, March 2022, this channel was renamed to Mr. Hollywood Archives 2.0. I'm still mostly going to be talking about the channel as if it's still the Roast Crew, because obviously that's what we always knew it as. So the Roast Crew was basically a channel where I would upload videos making fun of the Dragon Critic and, his entire community. Eventually, the channel evolved into just more than the Dragon Critic and his community, stuff about Hollywood too. But yeah, the channel is still up and, has a lot of funny videos and hidden gems from that drama that you can still check out. So during this time of the Roast Crew being formed is when I would say all the communities were brought together. And to really explain how we got up to this point, I made a triangle representing the communities. One of the communities was, of course, Mr. DVB, Jay the Moon Maker, and myself, along with our fans. Another community was the Dragon Critic community, which was, of course, him and his fans. And, of course, Mr. Hollywood, who was kind of the source of all of this. Mr. Hollywood really did bring all of our fan bases together into what would become this giant drama community. Since Hollywood was like the center of the universe, or the center of the communities in this case, all of our communities found out about each other's, and we kind of blended into one giant drama community. But, even if we were one giant drama community, it was still like a civil war at the same time because, all of our fan bases, didn't get along, and you kind of had to pick a side sometimes. But, some of the communities did blend in with one another, and, some people from Dragon Critic's community end up in our community. So that's kind of how, it all happened. On October 29th, 2016, the Dragon Critic was having a typical live stream with his friends, and I, the solo trooper, started trolling him in the chat and, roasting his personality, his content, and pretty much just everything about him. Of course, him and his friends got very angry at me.
Okay, you like movies that are stockish, solo trooper. I like movies that are amazing.
And that made his fan base hate me even more. So I ended up putting the clips of that stream on the Roast Crew, or which is now known as Mr. Hollywood's Archives 2.0, and you can still watch it if you want to. This was a very popular video in the community at the time. Of course, me annoying the Dragon Critic and stuff, and, the whole anti-Dragon Critic, community was starting to build, so that video that I made was, pretty popular at the time. Around this time, the Dragon Critic started accusing Mr. DVB, Jay the Moon Maker, and myself of being the true owner of the Archives account. But, we were still trying to keep the identity hidden, so we pulled a massive maneuver which would really turn up the notch of this drama. We decided to get someone who Mr. DVB knew in real life to essentially make fake videos playing the character of the Archives guy so that, we didn't have to take responsibility for being the owners of that account. So we basically, wrote scripts for him, and he played a character acting as the owner of that account, and we portrayed it as real, to prove that it wasn't Mr. DVB, Jay the Moon Maker, or myself that, owned that account. On November 4th, 2016, we put out a video of the face reveal of that guy who was supposedly running the Archives account.
Hello, this is the official face reveal video for Mr. Hollywood's archiver. I've been putting his videos up online because I was really disappointed when he deleted his first channel there.
In that video, we had him call out the Dragon Critic and act like a complete lunatic. Not only did we want these videos to help out with the drama, so we didn't have to take responsibility, but we also added a lot of comedic value to the videos, so he would constantly swear and have, manic episodes, so we added that in for fun. After the video went up, Dragon Critic pretty much just laughed it off, and he also asked, what did he ever do wrong? So of course, we made a follow-up video, and we had the fake Archives guy completely unload on the Dragon Critic for saying that. And what was also brought up in that video was some screenshots floating around of the Dragon Critic using racial slurs and saying that he wanted to, do some inappropriate stuff to people. Looking back on those screenshots, they were obviously fake and edited, and I'm pretty confident that it was the anti-Dragon Critic community that made those screenshots to make them look bad, but, you know, we still put it in the video for fun anyways. On November 9th, 2016, Mr. Hollywood made a video asking the Dragon Critic and everyone else in the community to cut the drama. After this video, the Dragon Critic said that he actually agreed with it, and he formed a surprising alliance with none other than Mr. Hollywood himself. They put their past drama behind them and started doing live streams and videos together. And as I said earlier, we would still argue with Mr. Hollywood a lot during this time, so he still had a certain dislike for us. Hollywood and Dragon Critic started having calls where they would basically just trash talk Mr. DVB, Jay the Movie Maker, and myself. And now that Dragon Critic and Hollywood were on the same sides, both their communities were against our community. In fact, both the Dragon Critic and Mr. Hollywood's communities pretty much merged into one giant community when this all happened. As the drama progressed, we started a new fake trend, which I take full responsibility for, which is where we started acting like channels were getting hacked. And we acted like it was the fake archives guy who was hacking these accounts. And we would have him talk about how he was so proud of it and how, you know, he was going to hack all these channels in the community. So we created a storyline that Venomous Poison, who, if you remember earlier, was the friend that I made at the start of the drama, got hacked by the fake Archives guy because Venom talked trash against Hollywood, who Archives was supposedly a big fan of. But in the video, the fake Archives guy betrays Hollywood and, you know, calls him out for all the stuff that he did. And then after that, the fake Archives guy took a little break from the drama for a while, but he wouldn't be done, and I'll get to that later. So meanwhile, after the whole, you know, archives thing had kind of settled down, Mr. Hollywood and I were beefing as usual, and he had this big live stream with the Dragon Critic, a few of the Dragon Critic's fans, and this one guy named Star Wars Critic 2003, who I had a mini drama with over him being a vegan and me not being a vegan. Yeah, it was probably the most pointless and stupid drama that came out of this whole thing, but anyways, in that live stream, I was there commenting the usual trash talk, and they tried to roast me back for it. Obviously, all of it was really cringy. I'm sure even my comments were really cringy, but, you know, it's still funny to look back on. I also uploaded clips and highlights of that stream on the Roast Crew channel after it happened, and sometime down the line, I ended up uploading the stream in its entirety. On Thanksgiving 2016, Hollywood made a groundbreaking video apologizing for the mistakes that he had made over the past few months, including the graphic photos that he sent.
I was accused of being a pedo, because I sent nudes to 13-year-olds. Honestly, I don't know what was going through my mind. Honestly, I don't know. That was me being stupid. And pretty much doing the biggest mistake I will regret in my entire life.
He also asked for forgiveness and a new start. And even though things would, you know, never be 100% okay, most of us kind of forgave him, and, you know, it seemed like everything was good for the meantime. But soon after, we started noticing something fishy with his channel, where he would gain around 40 subscribers a day, which, you know, wasn't making any sense considering how small his channel was at the time, and how little views he was getting per video. So we were absolutely convinced that he was sub-botting. So we confronted him about it, but he kept denying it and making up odd stories that just seemed really inconsistent. So on December 18th, 2016, Mr. DVB, Jay the Moon Maker, and myself interviewed him on the Roast Crew channel, and we completely went off and just tag team up on him on how he's a complete liar and is 100% sub-botting. We tried to get him to admit that he was sub-botting, but he still wouldn't budge. To this day, that might be one of my favorite videos to come out of this drama. I absolutely recommend that you watch that interview. The interview pretty much represents every Skype call we used to have with him back in the day.
I asked my friend if he can
Why would you ask
to
your friend?
subscribe to my channel, and then it's
Hold
like,
on.
You
Hold
murdered your
friend?
and then
Hold on.
and then it's like,
Shut up.
I will, and then it's like, we'll get you $200 today.
Tyran.
And I tried to,
Tyran, shut up. Are you saying
I would,
Tyran.
are you saying you killed your friend with an axe?
You axed your friend.
no.
But looking back on the whole sub-botting thing, I don't think he actually used real sub-bots. I think he did do the whole sub-for-sub thing with many accounts, and that's how he got his channel to just skyrocket in subscribers. But, you know, hey, I don't know for certain, so maybe he did sub-bot or maybe he didn't. You know, it is what it is. On December 22nd, 2016, Venomous Poison did a 2-part rap battle with Mr. Hollywood on the Roaster channel. If you haven't checked out that rap battle yet, you are definitely missing out. Please check out both parts of that rap battle if you get the chance. It is just comedic gold.
Mr. Hollywood, you got 200 subscribers, you think you got it. Just because I got 50 subs and you think you're bigger. If I catch you in an alley, I'll pull the trigger. Everyone type in the chat, Mr. Hollywood is stupid.
Mr. Hollywood and Venom just go at it, at each other during the whole battle, and, they use really edgy terms that, that were kind of normal back in 2016, but, it's pretty edgy stuff. And, I was also a part of that, video. I was kind of the moderator, I guess. I don't even know what I was, but I was just kind of there. So please check that out if you get the chance to. On January 1st, 2017, I made a video on the Roaster channel exposing Mr. Hollywood for subbotting again, this time with actual proof of him admitting to it. He actually did 100% send me a DM saying that he did subbot, but looking back on that, I think he was just joking because it'd be very dumb to admit to something like that. I think he was just doing it for comedic value or shock value or something, but I don't think he actually meant it when he said that. But, I still made that video exposing him for it. Also, at the start of 2017, Venomous Poison uploaded a huge video on his channel called The Rant on Everybody Part 1, which had almost 1,000 views before he removed it. He basically called out the Dragon Critic, the Dragon Critic's friends, and of course the fake archives guy, and Venomous Poison was obviously in on the whole fake archives guy storyline. In that video, he used edgy humor to roast the Dragon Critic and his friends, and then he called out the fake archives guy for supposedly hacking his account a month earlier.
After a while, he hacked my account during sometime in November, early December. I was hacked by archives, which him and I never had any problems before then.
And when that video that Venom made went up, he did get a lot of praise for his amazing roast in that video, but what happened after the video is where this drama would explode into a frenzy. During the time of Venomous Poison's video being uploaded, there was this drama still going on with Mr. Hollywood and Jay the Movie Maker. Mr. Hollywood was starting to become unbearable at this point. He was just constantly messing with us and being bipolar in these Skype calls, so we decided to pull an insanely crazy and risky fake storyline that just blows all the other storylines out of the water. This was going to be a storyline where we acted like Jay the Movie Maker killed himself because of Mr. Hollywood. I don't have the specific day of when this video was uploaded, but in early January 2017, Mr. DVB uploaded a video in tears over the fact that Jay supposedly killed himself. When that video went up, I had never seen Mr. Hollywood get so much hate in my life. He actually did a live stream soon after that whole incident happened, and he had a ton of viewers in that live stream that were just calling him a murderer and all types of horrible things. Hollywood ended up making a video very late that night called Rest in Peace, where he apologized for what had happened, but you could obviously tell that it was a fake reaction and that, Hollywood knew that this suicide was fake and that Jay wasn't actually dead. At the end of the video, Hollywood said, "Screw me," in a really funny manner, which ended up becoming a classic meme.
Screw me!
There's also a few clips shown in that Rest in Peace video of the original video of Mr. DVB crying over Jay's death, but the original Mr. DVB video in its entirety doesn't exist anymore. There was a live stream the next day on Venomous Poison's account that does still exist to this day, where Hollywood joins the call and the people in the call just completely hate on him for thinking he killed Jay.
If you guys want me to leave YouTube, just say it. Just say it right now.
Leave YouTube. Leave YouTube.
That's another stream you can find on the drama playlist. When the fake suicide thing was starting to blow over, we told Hollywood that it was fake, and he surprisingly wasn't that mad about it. Of course, he probably knew it was fake to begin with, but he still did get a lot of hate for it. But we had to find a way to reverse the suicide storyline because, of course, Jay still wanted to upload videos, and it would make us look really bad if we ended up admitting that we actually faked a suicide. So I had this great idea that would find a way around us admitting that he faked it. I had this genius idea where we would act like it was the fake archives guy that hacked Jay and spreaded the rumor that Jay killed himself. So first we had Jay upload a video saying that he wasn't dead and that he was hacked by archives and got his account back.
The guy who hacked me spread a whole rumor that I'm going to kill myself. And eventually that I supposedly did, which, talking to you right now, so pretty freaking sure that I didn't kill myself. But yeah, I know exactly who the hacker is. And, yeah, it's archives.
The community was obviously going insane by this point, and a lot of people still thought it was real, so we decided to do a really messed up troll that was still pretty funny. So late at night, on January 7th, 2017, Mr. DVB, Jay the Moonmaker, and myself were in a live stream with some other guys from Mr. Hollywood and Dragon Critics community, and we had the fake archives guy go into Mr. DVB's account and act like he hacked Mr. DVB and was about to hack everyone else in the live stream. It was complete chaos.
Uh-oh.
Come on, boys! This is the archivist again! End the call. End the damn call, boys. Game's over. Night, night. No!
Oh.
Don't stop it. Let's end the call right now. Wait, who is this?
Oh my god.
Please don't hack it. Please don't hack it.
What?
Who is this dude? It's your bedtime, boys. Okay? I'm the archivist. I'm not playing around. What do we do to you? I'll hack each and every one of you.
So yeah, that was definitely the craziest stream of all time, and as messed up as it was, I mean, you gotta admit, it was pretty funny. So I uploaded a video on the Archives account, acting as Archives and, acting like he was bragging about how he hacked everyone. So after that, we had Archives make a video, but before addressing the whole suicide thing, we still had to have Archives address the venomous poison video from a few days earlier. So we did another fake hack and put out a video of the fake Archives guy admitting to hacking Venom again because of Venom calling him out in his Rant on Everybody video.
I hacked you!
And that segued into Archives admitting in the next video that he did indeed hack Jay and fake his suicide to get people to turn on Mr. Hollywood.
The reason that I hacked Jay's account and faked his death was because I wanted you, the people, to turn against Hollywood.
So now we had this new fake storyline where the Archives guy was supposedly going to hack everyone in the community. And it pretty much ended there. We eventually just decided to drop the whole hacker storyline, and that's kind of where the drama as a whole started coming to an end. For the rest of the month, there was no serious drama, but we did still have constant Skype arguments with Mr. Hollywood, that was still a thing. And on February 4th, 2017, Mr. DVB and I uploaded some pretty serious and deep videos on our channel talking about the lasting effects that the drama had left on our channels. Of course, DVB's video doesn't exist anymore, but my video still does exist, and we sort of went into detail about how we used to have so much fun just simply talking about movies, and how the drama not only started to depress us, but the constant drama videos on our channels sort of ruined our channels as a whole. And while the drama was still pretty light, it did continue for a few months after that, and at this point, it was mostly just with Mr. Hollywood. The Skype arguments were never ending. We would flip-flop almost every day with Hollywood by, being friends with him to hating him and vice versa. And sometime during March 2017, the Skype drama got heated one night, and the Amazing Mr. Hollywood channel got deleted. So this is a confusing story because I don't remember how this channel got deleted, but at the same time, I think I do remember how this channel got deleted. I know it sounds kind of weird, but I'll try to explain it in the best way that I can. So there's two channels. The Amazing Mr. Hollywood channel and a channel called Mr. Hollywood's Reviews, which is a channel that was made in July 2017, and which I'll talk more about later. I know for a fact one of those two channels was deleted from Dawson tricking Tyran into giving him his account security info and Tyran falling for it. And because of that, Dawson was able to get into Tyran's channel and delete it. So all I can say is that one of those channels was deleted because of that. So yeah, maybe the Amazing Mr. Hollywood channel was deleted because of that, or maybe something else happened that I didn't remember, and it was the Mr. Hollywood's Reviews channel that was deleted from Dawson getting into his account. Who knows? But yeah, after the Amazing Mr. Hollywood channel was deleted, the drama started to fade away. Hollywood didn't have any hatred or anything for his channel being deleted, so him and Mr. DVB started talking again, and it was mostly non-drama filled with the exception of a few moments. On March 29, 2017, I uploaded a video on the Roaster channel where Mr. Hollywood was acting like a complete psychopath in a Skype call that we had with him, and we joked that he was on drugs in that call. But yeah, even that video still wasn't really a major part of the drama. Hollywood surprisingly never made a new channel after that whole drama. In fact, he kind of isolated himself from YouTube as a whole for the next few months after that. But in July 2017, we got involved in another drama with this guy named Lollipop Cop. Now, I don't consider this drama to be a part of the drama that this doc is specifically talking about, but there is a playlist of what's left of the Lollipop Cop drama on Mr. Hollywood Archives 2.0. But most of what's left from that drama has been deleted since then, so, there's still not much left. But to briefly summarize it, there was an outsider named Lollipop Cop that found all the drama videos that happened a few months earlier, and he was talking about the videos from an entire year before when we exposed Hollywood back in, summer 2016. But now this Lollipop guy was acting like he was the one that exposed Hollywood to his fan base. So Venomous Poison and I fought against him for trying to take credit for exposing Hollywood when he never did. It was us that, exposed Hollywood. And, he was trying to create more needless drama that had already died a while ago. So we actually became friends with Hollywood again and got him to make a new channel called Mr. Hollywood Reviews to help us fight Lollipop Cop. And because of that, Lollipop Cop finally deleted the videos, supposedly exposing Hollywood. After the Lollipop Cop drama, the Skype call fights with Mr. Hollywood continued for a while, and the drama finally came to an end with one massive Skype call on August 26, 2017, where we pranked Mr. Hollywood and pretended that we called LAPD to his house and told his friend Jody's Corner about Tyran's history. For those that don't know, which I'm assuming is most of you, Tyran and Jody's Corner once met at a movie theater and became friends.
Solo, you know who we should tell about this? We should send a link to Tyran admitting to the whole pedo thing to Jody's Corner.
No, Dawson, Sona, no.
So Tyran ended up deleting the Mr. Hollywood Reviews channel on that same day that the whole LAPD prank happened. As I said earlier, the Amazing Mr. Hollywood channel or the Mr. Hollywood Reviews channel was deleted from Dawson getting into the channel and deleting it himself. So, that's all I have. It was either one or the other. But after the whole LAPD thing and Tyran deleting his channel, that satisfied us enough, and it sort of ended the drama once and for all. Hollywood created a new channel on August 26, 2017 called Mr. Hollywood, which was made literally right after the prank we pulled. During the time when that channel was made, I stopped talking to Mr. Hollywood entirely, and we actually didn't interact with each other until 4 years later. And just so you know, the Mr. Hollywood channel is actually still up to this day, but apparently in May 2018, Hollywood supposedly locked himself out of the account and couldn't remember the password, so, that's where the channel ended. I'm sure Hollywood still made more channels after that, but I was so disconnected to him by that point that I don't really have any track of, what he was doing during that time period. But yeah, as a whole, that was still pretty much the dead end for Mr. Hollywood. However, fast forward a few years later to the summer 2021, I recently got into contact with him again since, I was binge watching the old drama videos and felt the need to make this documentary that you're watching right now. Tyran and I had a few good conversations at first, and he even made a new channel called Tyran the Hollywood Geek, which is where you may be coming from. But it didn't take long where we started arguing like the old days. I pretty much told Hollywood about making this documentary, and he was very much against it at first. In fact, he accused me of trying to start drama, which was never my intention at all. I even told him all I wanted to do was document this drama so that people know the full story if they're confused. I then tried to explain to him more that this doc is not meant to create drama, and he surprisingly gave me the green light and said that he has no problem with it. But Tyran, being classic Tyran, pulled a complete 180 and started flipping sides again and his opinion on the doc. As of right now, Tyran's old past has recently been brought up again, and there's actually a new drama community growing against him. In fact, recently, he actually deleted his channel Tyran the Hollywood Geek, and there's been new info coming out about his past that a lot of us didn't even know about, and we actually have a new Discord community about it called Van World, which I'll link in the description as well. So yeah, maybe in a few years, I'll end up making another video on the current drama that's actually happening right now. As for the Dragon Critic, I haven't talked to him since 2017. We left on mostly good terms if I remember correctly, but I heard that he's actually very much against this documentary being made. However, I can't confirm this because Mr. Hollywood is the source, so we all know that Mr. Hollywood isn't the most trustable person, but, it's possible that Dragon Critic might be mad about this documentary being made. I don't know. As for Venomous Poison, we also made contact recently for the first time in years in the summer 2021 as well. I've been talking to him and doing a lot of stuff with him a lot recently, and as I said earlier, his new channel name is Papa Jeets. As for Jay the Moonmaker, I haven't spoke to him in a very long time, but he still does talk to Mr. DVB. I also think Jay's original channel was deleted and replaced with a new one, if I remember correctly, so yeah, I think that's the case. And as for Mr. DVB, we've never stopped talking since the day we met. So I really hope you enjoyed this documentary, or video, I guess. I don't really know what this is, but, you know, just me talking about the drama community that I was once involved in on YouTube. The two channels that have a lot of key videos from that drama are Mr. Hollywood Archives and, of course, Mr. Hollywood Archives 2.0. The Mr. Hollywood Archives channel is mostly just for posting about Mr. Hollywood and the fake archives guy, of course. And the Mr. Hollywood Archives 2.0 channel is mostly used for posting about other people in the drama besides Mr. Hollywood. And as I said earlier, please check out that full drama playlist in the description. This playlist has so many videos from the drama. It's all in chronological order. It has some unlisted videos as well that are, you know, hidden from the public eye. And there's even some videos from channels that have been abandoned since then. So that playlist is so important. It has everything that you could possibly find that still exists to this day. And if you want to see Mr. Hollywood's old videos that never had any drama in them and were just his normal videos, I have them all in their own playlist called Mr. Hollywood's Old Videos, which is also in the description. So thanks so much for watching this documentary. If you ever want to know more about the drama, feel free to DM me on here or on my personal channel. I'll tell you everything that you need to know. And that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching the Mr. Hollywood drama of 2016.